Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new video where we're talking about one of my favorite topics, the volume profile. And in this quick video, I just want to briefly touch on the origins of the profile, where exactly it came from. I want to talk to you about what the deal with the profile is and really why it's important. And then I want to end this video with talking about some very specific issues that traders face when using the profile. And these issues or these hurdles really stop people from ever using the profile, or it causes traders to start dabbling, start looking into the profile, and then walk away thinking, I don't really get it, or I don't think that this really works. Okay, so jumping right into it, and in terms of talking about the profile, where exactly it came from, understanding the history and some of those like data bullet points is kind of useless information that's not necessarily going to help you earn in the markets. And there's no reason for me to dive into it on this video, but the only thing I really do want to talk about is give a nod to Peter Stottlemyre. What's happening here is what I do with the volume profile and what you do if you're doing the profile, if you're trying to learn about it, we really are built upon the work that he started. And I want to say it like this. What I've done with the volume profile is I've taken things that I've learned, and some of those things I just use exactly because that's the best use of it. Some things that I've learned, I've taken and I've changed them to make them more current and to make them work for what I want to use them for. And then there are some specific things that I've developed on my own, that through my own observations, there are completely original with me, that I've made out. And to take an idea and to truly personalize it and to make it better, or to improve upon it on your own and to add things to that takes a lot of effort, it takes a lot of time, and it takes a lot of competence with whatever the topic is here. But that is very different. To take something and build upon it or to try and make it better, that is different than taking something and just pulling it straight out of the ether, which is what Peter Stottlemyre did. Because everything that I do, even the stuff that's originally me, is built upon what he started. But what he did is, in what he started, was completely original, and there was nothing to build upon. He created it. He made it. And even though I don't use the market profile and it's evolved into the volume profile, what I use, we still owe all of this to him. And the reason I'm emphasizing this is because we have some truly amazing capabilities of what the profile allows us to do. And the reason that I'm able to trade full time goes back to what the profile allows, the information that it provides. And if you're starting off on the profile, me trading profile for all these years, we owe a lot to somebody like Peter Stottlemyre, who invested an incredible amount of his life and time into taking this idea and to getting it out to market. And you and I were able to just walk into something like this, but somebody paved the way. And outside of volume profile, and really outside of trading, there's probably no reason for you to ever know his name. But we owe a lot to the man, Peter Stottlemyre, and we should give a nod to him while we're talking about the profile. Now, moving on from that, let's talk about what the deal with the profile is and what exactly is going on here. If you guys can see on my charts, or at least see the screen, what we're looking at here now is an intraday profile. Okay, so this is this histogram that's turned on its side right here. That is the volume profile. And one thing I want to stress about this, if you're looking at it, is this is not just another indicator that you throw up on your charts. This isn't the same as if you took a Bollinger Band, or took a moving average, or took an RSI, or any number of indicators and put them on your chart. The volume profile is not an indicator at all like that. And so let's look at the difference here quickly, because if you're putting up a moving average on your chart or any type of an indicator, it's important to understand how this works. What's going on is that indicator is taking in the close of price. So normally the close of a candle that you have on your chart, it's taking in the close of that, so something that price has already done, and then it's putting that information into some type of an equation, and then it's plotting out a line or a dot or a dash or a bar, whatever the indicator is plotting. And that's the dynamic, taking information that's already happened, putting it into something else, and then telling you what you should be doing. That is not what a volume profile does. A volume profile is looking at real-time market-generated information. It's not taking information that's already happened. It's not taking the information, putting it into an equation, and then showing you something else. This is showing us real-time market-generated information that's extremely raw. And what it's doing is it's displaying that information in a very unique way. And this is part of the genius of what Peter Stottlemyre started even back with the market profile. But it's displaying this information in a way that if you can understand and if you can read what a profile is showing, it's going to let you know and it's going to show you what is happening behind the candles. If you're just pulled up and you're just looking at a chart, there are things going on that you cannot see. And really, just in general, it's more of an accurate way of plotting out what exactly is happening, what exactly the market is doing. And even looking at this chart right here, if you're taking price from maybe one side to the other of this chart, you can kind of look at price moving, let's say from here, and price moved all the way down to here. And we kind of look at this as if price moved in this horizontal way. But the reality is price does not move from side to side like that. Price only moves up and down. We display it on our charts kind of stretched out, but that's not how price moves. And the profile tracks that pure movement of price as price only moves up and down. And then it's showing us what's going on. It's displaying that real-time market generated information. And it's displaying it in a unique way that shows us what's going on behind the candle. Now, what does that mean, or what do we do with that information? Why is that important? The important thing about this is when you understand and you can know how to read a profile, but then also understand what to do with that information, you're going to be in a position where you can create a high quality trade idea. And understand this is what separates, one of the many things that separates a pro trader from somebody that's just struggling and cannot make it in this industry. A pro trader knows and has the skill and has the ability to pull out and create a high quality trade idea. And then maybe uses an indicator to help support that idea or to help improve the entry or something like that. Or maybe doesn't even use it. I don't even use indicators. That's what a pro trader will do. A struggling trader has no idea on how to create a quality trade idea. They're relying 100% on an indicator to give it to them. And if this has been your trading experience where you come in, you pull up your charts and you're really solely focused on looking at your indicator combos and having them solely give you your trade ideas, this isn't a judgment, but I know that is, you're struggling with that because I know where that road leads, and that does not lead to trading well. It does not lead to earning consistently. And this is a big kind of distinction here of technical analysis and trading. Technical analysis is great and we need that, but technical analysis and trading are two very different things. And if you're solely relying on indicators to give you your trade idea, you might be focused, you might be building up some skill with technical analysis, but you're really missing the boat when it comes to trading, and you're missing an important piece of this whole thing. And really, the model for how you're running your business here is flawed, and we need to look into that and consider changing some things up here. One of the reasons why the profile is so important and the information is so powerful is it will allow you to be able to give you what you need to come up with your own trade ideas. Now, the profile is powerful. The information it gives us is incredible, but very few people use it, or I should say so few people use the volume profile. And I want to talk to you right now about some real roadblocks and some real hurdles that cause people to stop using the profile and walk away thinking, I don't really get this, or maybe this isn't for me. So one of the first things, and kind of maybe one of the biggest things that stops people from learning the profile is looking at it and mistaking the learning curve for it being too complicated. And if you're looking at a profile and if you're used to looking at moving averages or RSIs or MACDs or Bollinger Bands, all technical indicators have a pretty similar feel. The volume profile, as you look at it, is very different. And it's easy to look at this and just see the uniqueness of it. And there's different colors and it's jagged and there's certain things that are not the same. And it's easy to look at this and to think that this is just too complicated and to go back and do something else. This is really a huge mistake, and let me explain. Because when you get over the learning curve, and there is a learning curve, the profile is not like other things you've probably used, and so there is a time where you're going to have to memorize some things, you're going to have to build up a certain level of competence. No doubt, you have to go through that. But once you get over it and you get over the learning curve, if you stick with it and learn these things, what you'll find is the volume profile is not complicated and it's actually very simplistic. Because when you know what you're doing here, you'll be able to know what you're doing and why you're doing it. And people who think that indicators are more simple and easy to follow, they're actually much more complicated, because if you're looking at an RSI and you say, okay, the RSI is telling me that this market is oversold or this market is overbought, very few people have any idea why that indicator is telling them that. They understand what it's telling them, but they have no idea why it's telling them that, what the equation is, how it's coming up with that information. And they're forced to just make a decision because this indicator told me to. But when you understand the volume profile and the information it's displaying, it's going to be very simplistic, and you're going to be able to know this is what I'm doing and this is why I'm doing it. It's a very different dynamic that helps in your trading. So if you're looking at the volume profile, maybe you've thought this before, that it's just like too complicated, I want something more simple, don't mistake it. I can promise you the profile is not complicated. It is very simple. There's just a learning curve. So don't mistake the learning curve for being too complicated. The second kind of thing here that stops people from being able to use the profile, or I should say has them start using the profile and then stops, maybe thinking it doesn't work, is they mistake learning the basics for understanding how to profile. They learn the basics and now they think they know how to profile. But there's a very big gap between the basic information that's very easy to learn, but then beyond that, what do we do with the information we've just learned? So looking at a profile, it's very simple to understand that, okay, this gray area is the value area. This is value area high, this is value area low, this magenta line is the point of control. Up here we have a high volume area, down here this is a low volume area. Here's the initial balance high, initial balance low. It's very easy to pinpoint out those specific points and to memorize those pieces of information. And really that's all it takes, is some basic memorization skill. But knowing the basics about a volume profile is not enough to earn with. You obviously have to know the basics because that's your foundation, and you can't take it any deeper, you can't build upon it if you don't know the basics. But what you can't do is know the basic information about a profile and translate that into making money consistently. It won't track that way. And this is a huge issue where if you go out there, and I've studied the profile for years now, and I can say this, and I would encourage you to go out there and try to find some information about the profile. Read a book, read a blog, watch a YouTube video, go out there and consume whatever you can about the volume profile. And then when you're done, just ask yourself, how can I earn with what I just learned? You won't be able to answer that question because there's not even that much, but there is information about the profile and information about it, but it's not enough. You have to be able to take that information and then understand what exactly to do with it. And if you're just learning the basics, a lot of people make this mistake. They go out, they learn what high, what low volume area is. They try to use that and they can't seem to make money with it. They walk away thinking, I don't think the profile really worked, or this isn't for me. But the issue is they just never got past the basics to what to do with it. Okay, I'm going to do a couple more of these to wrap up this video so it doesn't get too long. The next thing I want to talk about is taking the profile and trying to make it a buy here or sell here system. This is an issue that stops people from using the profile. If you're coming into this and you're used to using moving averages, you're used to using an RSI or any kind of an indicator where you know that these are the rules, and when you get here you buy, when this happens you sell, you get it, and that's how you're supposed to be using that information. When you're using the volume profile, you cannot translate it the same way. You cannot take it and just say that this is here, so I'm going to buy, this is here, so I'm going to sell. The reason being is that the volume profile has an art form to it that goes beyond just rules that you blindly follow. And this is good because that's how trading is. Trading is not this environment where you just blindly follow a set of rules. And if you're trying to treat your trading like that, you're really making a big mistake. Because trading is not this clean environment that when you do this and you do this, you get this. That's not how this works. You don't put 2 and 2 together and always get 4 in trading. Sometimes you get 5.5, sometimes you get 3. It it varies, and trading requires you to use some discretion and to use some art. And if you're just trying to blindly buy here, sell here because this happens, you're never going to earn consistently in this business. So, like trading, the volume profile has an art form to it where it requires some discretion, and you can't take the information and just execute it to the letter of the law. You have to be able to factor that in with some actual skill. And if you're just trying to execute it and trying to make it a buy here, sell here system, it's not going to work. But not that it doesn't work, you're just using it in a way that's wrong. And that happens a lot with traders. The last thing I'll say about this on things that stop people from using the profile is taking the profile and trading with too much discretion. This is an issue because some people are attracted to the profile because they've tried the indicators, they've tried a lot of other systems, and they're just kind of fed up with it. They don't want to do things just because they're told to. They want to understand what they're doing and trade with some discretion. So they get attracted to the profile, they learn about the profile, and then they go out there in the real market and just throw all the rules out the window. No structure, no strategy, no tactic, and they just trade from their gut. They just trade with emotion, and they just trade on pure discretion. That opens you up to a lot of emotional errors. It opens you up to a lot of just mixed results, and that's not the way to trade. I am a discretionary trader, but I have a lot of specific rules that I follow. I have a lot of specific frameworks that are outlined for me, and I have a lot of structure inside of that discretion. I don't, just because I'm discretionary, I don't get out there and just push buttons wherever I want. And this is an issue too of somebody walking into profiling and going way too heavy with discretion and having not enough real strategy here to make this thing work. So these are some issues when using the volume profile. I could go on and make this video a little bit longer, but I know that these are some of the big ones, and this is what I really wanted to address in this video. After going through this myself and having seen a lot of people come and go with the profile, and having worked specifically with clients on learning the profile, I know that these are some of the real big ones. And so I hope this kind of opens up your eyes to a few things. And if you're looking to move forward with the profile, and if this interests you and just the general idea of the profile is something you want to go deeper on, let me give you a little bit of direction on moving forward. I'm going to take a quick side note before I continue that thought. And as a side note here, it's very important that if you're ever listening to somebody online that's giving you some advice or telling you what you should do, you have to ask yourself, does this person have any incentive to be saying what they're saying? And if the answer is yes, that doesn't necessarily mean you have to turn it off, but you have to take that information from that point on and treat it as guilty until proven innocent. This is very, very important. So what I'm getting ready to say next, I have TradeAct. I have the profiling method. And at certain levels, I am incentivized to say what I'm going to say. So it's on you to take that with a grain of salt and to take that and to treat it as guilty until proven innocent. Now, to wrap up this video and to give you that direction of how to move forward with the profile, just because I'm incentivized to say this at a certain level, it doesn't make it any less true. And if there was another way to say this, I would, but there isn't. So whether it's an incentive for me or not, it really is the truth. So I can tell you this, if you're interested in moving forward with the profile, I can promise you that you will not find in a book, you will not find online through YouTube, information on how to take the profile and what to do with it. You can learn a lot about it, but you're always going to be missing something of how to take this discretionary information and what is the specific strategy, what is the specific framework that you have to put it together with. And if you don't have that, you're never going to be able to earn consistently with trading. And to try and take the fractal information that's out there and to put it together and to trial and error your way through, I can just tell you this, it's extremely penny wise and pound foolish. And so if you're interested in profiling and you're serious about moving forward with it, I would just strongly encourage you to find somebody that you feel like you can trust, that you know is actually doing this and can actually not just give you some of the general information you can find out there, but can really show you the specific granular structure of what to do with the information, and lean upon them and then go that route of getting that specific direction, getting that specific instruction. If you're interested in the profiling method, it's what I have to offer and it's what I've developed out. It's a product that I am extremely proud of. And if you're looking to go further with the profile, I would strongly recommend at least checking this out and giving it a serious look. What I have is somewhere in the description. There'll be an outlet where you can watch an additional training. There'll also be an outlet where you can sign up for a free one-on-one strategy session with a member of our team. I don't take any of these calls anymore by myself. I take very few of them. I used to take these all by myself, and it's just something that I can't do anymore. So I've enjoyed my time doing it, but you still will get the attention that you need. And this will just be an outlet where you don't have to watch another video or go through any kind of hoops. You can just go straight through and get your question answered and just really see that this is my situation, and is the profiling method and is the volume profile a good outlet for me or something that I should be checking out. And if it is, and if it's great, we can start working together. And if it's not, then we'll offer maybe a different alternative or something else that you should be checking out if this isn't a good fit for you. Okay, so that'll be provided for you if you're looking to move forward, because specifically with the volume profile, this is a very difficult journey to just go out there on your own, and I very strongly would not recommend it. For what that's worth, you take it with a grain of salt, okay? If you guys are still watching this video to the very end, I hope that this was valuable and it gave you some things to think about why the profile is important and what would stop you from moving forward with it. Let's all hit the like button on the way out, and I will see you guys in the next video.